Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Kim, and this is going to be probably a three-part series about getting to Hawaii, and then after that I will just share with you some of the things that my family and I are doing while we are here in Oahu. So this first part is going to be about hotel, flights, the Hawaii Safe Travel site, getting our COVID shot, and then of course the health questionnaire that Hawaii requires for you to enter into the state. Because we are Marriott members, we always stay at the Marriott Vacation Club on the island of Oahu. And so the first thing I do when I know what month we're going to be going on vacation is, I go online onto the Marriott site and I book our vacation weeks. Normally we stay for 2 weeks. And so depending on who is going, if it's just Raleigh and I, or if it's the kids, or if it's all of us, all 8 of us, then I know what size unit to book. So the first thing I do is book the hotel. And then next I start looking for flights. Because we live in the Central Valley in California, and we are 2 hours south of San Francisco and north of Los Angeles, about 4 hours, we normally drive to Los Angeles, park at the LAX Marriott, keep our car there, spend the night there, and then take a direct flight from Los Angeles to Honolulu the next day. This time we did something a little bit different. Because of how flights are now, there weren't a lot of choices, and so we decided to go ahead and take a flight not from Los Angeles. We decided that we were going to leave right out of Fresno, and we took a flight from Fresno to Seattle with an hour layover, and then on to Portland for another hour layover. In Portland, what happened was we just got off into the terminal and got right back on at the same place, so it was nice and easy. And then from there, we flew directly to Honolulu. So it was a little bit of a longer day than we normally like, but it got us there. We did save on gas driving to Los Angeles. The average price that we would pay for a direct flight from Los Angeles to Honolulu was in the 300s. The lowest we ever paid was maybe $245, $250, and the highest probably about maybe $440. This time we paid $378 per person. If you are going to be flying to Hawaii, any island, post-COVID, this Safe Travel site is going to be your best friend. You are going to be coming here to fill out all of your forms, to upload your forms, and to find out all the information that you need. And I'll put the link to this site in the description box below. It's basically travel.hawaii.gov. It's the mandatory state of Hawaii travel and health form. It's for all visitors, friends, and ohana traveling to Hawaii. And so, of course, you can see there's a little video there that you can watch. Basically, you're going to create an account. Okay, the state of Hawaii actively screens and monitors travelers for public health and safety. So it's required that all travelers provide the information in the required fields. And you can see that there's 4 areas right here. The state of Hawaii has really tried to make it easy enough for travelers to get here and to enjoy their state. So you have trips, health questionnaire, daily check-ins, and documents. So let's go into trips first. You go and create an account. You're going to have to put in your information for your trip. And so this is our information for our trip. So once you've booked your flight, and you can't fill out anything until you've booked your flight because it's going to ask you all the questions. When you go to the site for the first time after you book your flight, just make sure you have your confirmation for your hotel and also for your flight ready, because it's going to ask you to put in all that information. You don't have to have your COVID test just yet. You can always put that in later, but if you've already had your COVID test, which I'll talk about in just a minute, then you can go ahead and put that in at the same time. So ultimately, what you want is this barcode. That barcode is going to allow you to get onto the island of Hawaii with an exemption, which means that you don't have to quarantine. So if you've heard people talking and saying, well, once you get to Hawaii, you're going to have to quarantine, that's false. If you are screened and you have a negative COVID test, you don't have to quarantine. That means you have an exemption. You can go to your hotel, check in, and go everywhere you want, of course, with a mask. So this questionnaire tells you that you're going to receive an email with a QR code that will be scanned by the screener at the airport. I can't click on it now and show you because we've already completed it, and so it just says complete. Okay, let's switch over to documents right here. This is where you're going to upload your documents for your trip and your COVID test results and a picture of yourself and all of that. And so you can see right here, it tells you very explicitly how to expedite exemption from quarantine. And that's what you want. You want exemption. And it says only upload COVID-19 test results from Hawaii's trusted testing and travel partners. And so when you click on this site right here, it's going to take you to who the travel partners are. And you can see, I'll just scroll through very quickly. You can see that here in the United States, here are the trusted partners for taking your COVID test. We went to CVS, and it was a CVS literally just right up the street from my house. It was nice and easy. It was just a drive-through at CVS, and we went and got our test at CVS on a Tuesday, and we received our test results through the email on Thursday. So it was nice and easy. So what's going to happen is if you do not go to one of these travel partners, then when you get to Hawaii, you can either be quarantined for 10 days, which for most people probably is most of their vacation, or they're going to send you to one of their labs to go and get your COVID test, and it may be more expensive than just going somewhere near your home. Okay, so once we received our COVID test back, it was a PDF file from CVS, and all we did was we uploaded it onto the document site, and I'll show you, go back to that in just a second. So just make sure that you read through all of this information. If you follow all of the information that they've given you, you will have no problem. So you can see right here that we uploaded our COVID test. It says COVID negative, it tells where you're going, and then your name. The one thing that you do want to make sure that we didn't know at the beginning was that each person has to have their own email for their COVID test. So Raleigh, who normally uses his email at work and doesn't really have a personal email, we needed to create him his own email address. If you're traveling with children, just know that everyone that is 5 years old and over has to have a negative COVID test uploaded onto the Safe Travel site in order to receive the exemption. The Health Questionnaire is just 4 questions, and they do ask you if you have had the vaccine, and they ask you to put the date in that you had the vaccine. That does not, however, factor into the fact that you still have to wear a mask and you still have to get a negative COVID test. And the daily check-ins, we actually haven't started doing that, and we've been here for about 3 days now, so I guess we probably better start looking at that. You also want to make sure that you have transportation from the airport to your hotel. Because of COVID, there are now less rental cars available, and the rental cars that are available are double the price, literally. When Raleigh and I came to Hawaii, in the fall of 2019, we rented a car for, I want to say 9 or 10 days for about $225. And we just rented a car for a week for 6 days, I think, for $500. And there are some Ubers around. There are very few, and there are some taxis available. But all forms of transportation that are available are quite expensive. If you are traveling to Oahu, I do have a site called Drive Hui, and that's one option that the hotel actually gave us. All right, guys. Well, we are here in Oahu, and we are staying over on the west side of Oahu in KoOlina. We're going to take some day trip and have some fun adventures this weekend. Pretty much this week we've just been at the beach and at the pools and just enjoying some relaxation time. If you have any questions about anything that I've shared in this part 1 video, please leave them down in the comments below, and I will get back to you or research if I don't know the answer to your question and try to get your answers back to you. Okay? I definitely am going to share with you the Marriott KoOlina Beach Club, give you a tour of not only a 2-bedroom but a 3-bedroom villa, also show you what's around on the property and what their requirements are and maybe what they're not doing that they used to do, which may help you in your future trip to Hawaii. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.